Okay, let's talk about one of the absolute hardest parts of trading, knowing when to hold them and when to fold them. You know that feeling of being totally whipsawed by the market signals? Well, today we're going to break down a framework called the noise budget that is designed to bring some serious clarity to that chaos.
I mean, we've all been here, right? On one side, you have a winning trade, it dips just a little, you panic, you sell, and then you watch it rocket to the moon without you. Ugh. And on the other side, you're stubbornly holding a loser, telling yourself, it'll come back, but it just keeps bleeding. They feel like completely opposite mistakes, don't they?
But hang on, here's a thought that might just change how you see everything. What if panic selling a good trade and holding a bad one for way too long aren't two different problems at all? What if they're just two symptoms of the exact same mistake? And here it is. The root cause is that you haven't learned how to separate the random, meaningless market noise from the one true signal that tells you your trade idea is wrong. And when you can't tell the difference, well, every little price tick feels like a fire alarm telling you to do something right now.
This is what it feels like to be trapped in the noise. One candle looks super bullish, the next one looks incredibly bearish. So you react, you reverse, you get chopped up, you overtrade, and you just burn yourself out. It's because you're treating every single little wiggle as some profound, meaningful signal when really most of it is just random.
So the fix, the way out of this mess, is learning to tell the difference between two really critical concepts, noise and invalidation. I'm telling you, getting this right is the key. It's how you go from emotional gut reactions to calm, calculated decisions. So let's break them down.
All right, first up, noise. What is it? It's just the normal, everyday volatility of the market, the little ups and downs. But here's the trap. Noise feels super meaningful. It makes your stomach drop, it gets your heart racing, but in reality, it doesn't actually mean your core reason for being in the trade is wrong. It's just noise.
And then you have invalidation. This is the complete opposite of noise. This is your bright red line in the sand. It's the one, single, objective thing you decide on before you even click the buy button. And when that line gets crossed, your idea is wrong. The trade is over. You exit. There's no debate, no second guessing, no, let me see what the next candle does. You just get out.
So, okay, how do we actually put this into practice? How do we make it real? Well, we use a really simple but incredibly powerful four-part framework. This is the system that helps you move from making emotional, heat-of-the-moment calls to just following a calm, repeatable process.
Yep, it all comes down to these four pillars. Just four simple steps that you figure out before you ever risk a single dollar. If you get these right up front, it will totally change how you manage your trades when things get intense.
Okay, here's the whole framework. Step 1, write a super clear, one-sentence thesis. Why are you even in this trade? Step 2, define your one and only one invalidation point. What proves you wrong? Step 3, set your noise budget. How much wiggle room are you willing to tolerate? And finally, step 4, which is optional but really useful, add a time limit. You don't want to get stuck in a trade that's just going sideways forever.
And now we get to the best part. Because once you've done that prep work, actually managing the trade becomes ridiculously simple. You don't have to think on your feet, you don't have to stress, you just look at your decision table.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? We're trying to turn a super stressful emotional moment into a boring mechanical checklist. You stop being an artist, improvising, and you start being a pilot, just running through the pre-flight check. Simple, calm.
So check this out. This is your tool when you're in a live trade. You feeling the pressure? Just look at the table. First question, invalidation hit? If the answer is no, what's your action? Do nothing. That's it. Let the trade work. But what if the answer is yes? The action is just as clear. Exit. Immediately. No hesitation. Same logic for the time limit. See? It's a completely mechanical, unemotional process. And this quote from the source material just nails it. This turns management into a process, not emotions. You are literally taking all that fear and greed and hope out of the equation and replacing it with a simple, logical system. And that, my friends, is the key to consistency.
So the big idea here is this. Great trade management isn't about brilliant improvisation in the moment. It's all about the preparation you do beforehand. So let's wrap this up with the key things you can start doing like right now.
All right, here's your action plan for your very next trade. 1. Write that one-line thesis. 2. Define your one invalidation condition. 3. Set your noise budget before you enter. 4. Think about adding a time limit. And 5. Once you're in the trade, just trust your plan and use the decision table. It's really that straightforward. Stop trying to wing it.
And hey, here's a great real-world example. Let's say you're trading on a decentralized exchange and you get terrible slippage. Your entry price is way off. Could that be a reason to invalidate the trade? Absolutely. But only if you decided beforehand that poor execution was an invalidation rule. If you don't, you're just making it up as you go along, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid.
And that really brings us to the single most important thing to remember from all of this. The market's random wiggles, they're just noise. They are not sending you a secret message. Your predefined invalidation point, that is the message. That is the only signal that really truly matters. Learn to listen to the right one.